Hello, guys. So we are back. It is not Legion. It is Tobler joining me, and I was also in another stream just 5 minutes ago. But we have a great match that is happening now here between Shift and ONYX. And Tobler, I'm very much looking forward to this because ONYX, they looked very strong yesterday, but now they have to play against a very strong Team Shift.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen Shift already. I believe it last week. I'm not sure if we saw them this week, mainly because I've been very busy so far, so I haven't quite followed all the matches. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I mean, from their performance last week, they were looking like one of the best teams in Division 2 so far, and I believe that this is gonna be a very, very good match. Yeah, do we want to, since we have the warm up thing going, do you want to explain why it's now me instead of Legion, or do we just want to get into this match? It's going to be Shift ONYX.
I mean, it's probably just a time zone difference there. So
yeah.
I think he's thought that it would start an hour later. I also still have to think because now I'm in Ireland and here it's 18 and not 19, right? I still have to think about it because then there was a tournament happening at 16, but then it was like the time in the Baltics, but it's 14 for me, so it's like 2 hours difference.
Yeah.
And those things can just happen, right? That's why we have people in there. We have plenty of casters, and I'm also delighted to be casting with you, Tobler, which will be a lot of fun. It's Josh and Jadon versus Flimsy and Kakni, though, and you just named it. I mean, Shift with a great start, 2-0 already, but ONYX as well. Like, it's first versus second.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely going to be the most exciting match of Division 2 so far. I'm very excited to be casting it with you. We have not casted many things together, and even the things we have casted together, it's been quite a while since we have. I'm going to need a little moment, of course, to warm up. I quite literally just got home. I haven't even showered. I'm just here. I'm going to be casting. We're gonna rock this together. It's an exciting game. I really, really cannot wait. Do we want to take the risk to take a prediction here, or do we just want to leave it up to the players?
I mean, yesterday I was on the point correct, and then I was dead wrong after that. So I think the only thing I would go for a prediction is that we go to map number 5. I'll just say that.
I think that's an absolutely fair prediction. I think I'd be disappointed if we didn't go to map 5. We'll definitely see how these two teams stack up against each other in our first round here on Brazil, starting in just a few seconds. Shift versus ONYX. Let's get into round number 1. Now, this map, of course, Brazil, the identity on this one is quite a tricky one. I still remember seeing this back when it was played in the World Championship in 2023. Not this exact map, of course, but the identity that inspired this map in specific, and I remember a lot of crashes happening there, and so far I've seen a lot of those and a lot of overtakes. Very exciting moments happen here as well, and I'm hoping for to see more of this. This round in particular, Shift is going to be in the lead with Jadon and Josh leading the pack right now. Flimsy in contention, trying to overtake Josh there, but his teammate Kakni is all the way in 4th place at the moment. Josh about to be looking like he is going to get overtaken by Flimsy in a moment. Here we see Flimsy is just barely gonna pull ahead no, not quite even. Not at this checkpoint, but at this checkpoint, it looked like he was ahead. We're heading into the identity here in a moment, and Flimsy finding himself in 1st place. All of a sudden, he's going to be choosing the long way around that stone, and it might just be enough. Not quite. Josh finished 1st place. Flimsy 2nd for a win for Shift.
Yeah, very good win there from Shift, but also Flimsy fighting back so nicely there, but it's 900ths of a second in the ending. And of course, Josh and Jadon had a very good run at DreamHack Birmingham, as well as in the Elite Cup, where they both sit in the top 25, 21st and 23rd position for both of them. So it's not looking too bad, as opposed to Flimsy and Kakne struggling a bit. Kakne on 60th position and Flimsy is on 44th. So definitely a little bit of a difference there. Maybe it gives us an outlook of how fast the players are on the map. Also seeing Jadon and Josh making it very deeply into DreamHack Birmingham. Jadon qualifying to the top 16 even. I think Josh missed out on it, or did he make it? There were plenty of matches happening, but I'm gonna take a look onto that here just now. I do think that he has been that he got eliminated. I think in like 21st to 24th position, and Josh eliminated Tween from the event and got top 16. So that is quite something to consider. But now they have a very good run here. As we can see, they're quite far ahead of Kakne. Flimsy still in close contention, goes for a wider approach, will have more speed, but it doesn't work out. And they're very much in control here and getting that ace. So Shift up 5-1. Good start from them so far here, Toble, as Flimsy and Kakne need to do some catch-up work.
Yeah, definitely. Flimsy, they're still close in contention for like a second place, maybe even a very clutch first place. But right now, it's really kind of coming down to his teammate locking down the fourth place. They really need something like an ace, or at the very least a victory. I think this match in particular, since we're dealing with the currently like top 2 of Div 2, I think the winners of this are definitely going to establish themselves as the favorites of Div 2. And remember, first place in Division 2 gets an immediate promotion into Div 1 without a match. They're just going to replace 10th place in Division 1, so that's a very valuable place to be in. And well, right now Shift is leading this race in order to be looking like they're going to be the favorites. However, Flimsy is in the lead right now, and that might just be the points that ONYX needs in order to get a wheel in the door, so to say. Flimsy first place, Jadon in second, and Kakne currently locking down the third place position as Josh. Oh, and I've cursed them as Josh has made a mistake, but Flimsy's respawn is going to be respawning him behind Josh, and that's going to mean it's just going to be a victory for Shift and only 1 point for ONYX. Shift now on track point already with an ace. They can close it out on map 1. This is not looking all that good.
Yeah, Josh also made a mistake there. I didn't spot that, but yeah, Flimsy getting the water wheels there, and it's so hard to control them here on Brazil. Of course, a map that we have seen already in the World Championship of 2023, where we have seen a similar sector than the start as well. It's almost a 1-to-1 replica of the map up until until this part here. The water bounce wasn't in there, and then also this obstacle was also in this map that we're gonna see after the drift at the plastic part. And the ending was a bit different, or just in general this whole reactor boost section, because on the original version we had Fragile attached to the car, which led to a very fun clip where it was Wizzy being fragile and him trying to steer with the steering wheel, trying to get everything that he has in there, but his car was not moving. It looked helpless. It was fun because he was playing on a wheel, or he still plays on it. But now this is a good round for Flimsy and Kakne here, but Kakne losing control. And again, ONYX member is flying out of the map, and this is very big for Shift. And yeah, this is just it looks so funny if someone makes a mistake. And it is Flimsy winning the round, but it's still heavily advantageous for Shift here because they go up to 8 points. ONYX at 3, but it could have been much more for them in this round.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you do really notice it a little bit in the cast as well, you know. The cast starts when the identity begins. It's a very volatile kind of map where anything can change up until the end. It's very nice for a viewer. I think it can be a little bit frustrating as a player right now. I have to just mention Jadon with a little mistake, steering a little too early maybe. I'm not quite sure. He's going to be hitting the pole with the front of his car, netting him the 4th place for now, but he is still very close to the rest of the pack here. Josh is going to be in contention for the lead. Flimsy trying to do something about it with some sort of overtake, but Josh is of course not going to let that happen. Josh, of course, I think one of the players to look out for if it just comes down to my opinion. He's been showing very great performances just overall, and yeah, but he is currently in the lead. Kakne is looking for an overtake on Jadon, who's fought his way back into 3rd place from all the way in 4th from that small mistake at the start. But let's see if he can actually keep it up until the end. A win here would be enough for Shift, but it's not quite enough. It's a draw. It's one more round alive for ONYX. ONYX needs to get 2 aces, though.
Yeah, they need to do that, and that is a very hard task to do here against a very strong-looking Team Shift. And yeah, you were naming it. I mean, Josh is a very strong player. He has been teaming up with Elcon for plenty of competitions, and it's just like, for me, he goes in this same like range as a player. He can be very fast, and especially like at the Trackmania Games 2026, where he played fantastic on full speed and then also did phenomenal on multi-style. It's just so good to see like how versatile he is as a player. And now Shift is only in need of 1 point. Flimsy and Cagney, they need to get first and second position only in this round, else it will be over. And then they need to do it again, because 9-7 would mean that, well, it's only an ace only an ace to take it home. But it looks like it will be the ace for Team Shift here, because Flimsy and Cagney, both with smaller, even bigger mistakes there. And Jadon and Josh getting it very nicely here, hand in hand. They go into the last turn, and the first map will go to Shift with 104.4 as well. It's an okay time. We've seen 103s here already, so good times from both of them. And I mean, Tobler, would you say it's advantageous that both of the players played DreamHack Birmingham and both also made it into the money, because they have been getting a lot of experience on those maps already?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, with 2v2, I think, especially when you're, if this is just my opinion maybe, but when I'm sitting in a voice chat with someone, I do feel like I sometimes have slightly more expectations for myself, and those are only really heightened when I'm playing with someone that I don't have much experience with. And so having a player that you actually have played with a lot, that you can trust, that you also know that you can sometimes make a mistake, is just gonna make you overall play a bit better, so to say. So yeah, and of course the experience at DreamHack itself and with the maps themselves is of course gonna be very, very important. If you have a teammate that you can you know, rely on, that you know this is just about the pace that he can do and this is what I can do, then that's probably the best thing that you can really have.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Josh and Jadon both know where they're standing. I think that is a fantastic duo to see here. Just the UK scene rising and having just so many up and coming players to their nation, which is so cool to see. And then Flimsy and Cagney also playing so good, but maybe they just hit a wall here with Josh and Jadon, because they just looked unstoppable on Brazil. And now we go to map number 2. We go to France, another cool map. This one has also been used already in the past, like partially. It was back then called Halfpipe.
I mean, obviously referring to the half-pipe jumps, the identity at the end. I mean, I personally really, really enjoy half-pipe jumps. It's what really got me into Trackmania, so to say. I saw the big jumps. I was like, that looks like a fun game, and then I really wanted to play it. And for some reason, I ended up playing Ice. Although you know, we don't really talk about that. Anyways, we're heading into our first round here in France. I'm gonna try my best not to call it Paris, but I have done so in the past.
Yeah, I've done it as well, actually.
it's so difficult to sometimes remember it, but it's fine. We're on France. Jadon with a big respawn might just be the first round ONYX needs after losing that round on Brazil by quite a big margin. I think what they really need is a little pick-me-up, and a little pick-me-up would be an ace to open up the round here on France. Flimsy and Cagney are locking down the 1-2 positions right now. We're just about to head into the identity in a moment here. Josh, the only one who can really do something about the lead at the moment, as Flimsy hits the wall. They're gonna get that small clip, small slowdown. They're going for the risky lines, but they still have quite a big lead. Oh, that looked a little bit scary, but yeah, they're gonna be making it, and they're gonna be opening it up with an ace here on France. That's gonna be nice for them.
I think we're watching a different game here, because Flimsy got overtaken by Josh here.
What?
Didn't he?
What? When? Okay. Well, it seems like my glasses are not quite cleaned yet, because when did that happen?
Yeah, it was Flimsy not getting a good landing there and losing a lot of time. So it is not the ace, but a victory for ONYX here in this round. Or maybe on another server, it could also be. I don't know.
Honestly, I think I just missed it somehow.
Yeah, like I'm not sure where the camera was at production, but I was following. I'm on the server right now. I followed Flimsy, who was a bit further behind, and he has been making that mistake there. And it was Cagney then winning that round, or the other way around. I sometimes get this a bit confused in the 2v2 format, whoever crashed or whoever wins this round, as well as I also sometimes call this map Paris. I actually did that mistake as well, which is quite fun. But it looked like a very good round for ONYX, but they only got, the victory out of it, and against a team like Shift, who can just do a round like this, where they're just first and second, even though Cagney and Flimsy both didn't make significant mistakes. They're having a good run. Yeah, it's punishing because now Kakne is out. He is out of this round, but it is Jadon now with a mistake. So will be Flimsy who is getting that second position. So it is at least a victory only for Shift. So it's 3-3. So still everything to play for, but a lot more potential for Shift here in terms of pace. I think they can go close to the world record from Nako. But also Flimsy and Kakne didn't look too bad. So I think this will be a very close map that we have in our hands.
Well, I certainly hope that this is going to be a close map. That first map, Brazil, made me a little bit, anxious for how these other matches are going to go, especially for ONYX. I'm very happy that they got to open up with a victory. The ace would have, of course, been nice for them and nice to see as well. But of course, only the win. Shift is going to trade it with their own win. 3-3. We're tied up in the score, but still everything to play for Josh. In that last round, I'm not sure if we mentioned it. I think it was 107.4, which is around about
0.2, I think.
0.2. Okay, that
0.23, something like that. It was a fast time.
It's not even. It's less than half a second from the actual world record, which is quite an impressive time in my opinion, especially on maps like these, which can be a little bit difficult to learn for a lot of players. And so it's really nice to see. We're coming down to the identity here. It is ONYX in the lead. It's gonna be Flimsy choosing to go for the slightly slower line. Let's see if Josh is gonna be able to punish that slower line. Oh no, and that's a big clip, and it's only gonna be a draw. That is heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, that's heartbreaking. This could have been one additional point there for Team ONYX, but Kakne and Flimsy cannot hold it together. They cannot deny Josh here because like the ending, you were naming it, it's hard to survive on this map, and if you really lose momentum on this identity, you lose a lot of time. It's really hard to catch this one back up to. And then of course we have this outside dirt line as well, which is very hard to do. And also they're just getting a good amount of speed here into this just flowy no jump here. It's not easy to do. Like when I played this map for AT in the campaign, this one really like was like, okay, how do I approach it? How much speed do I need? It's really just a leap of faith. Like you need extensive hours on this map to do it by heart. And also this part here can be incredibly hard to do. Flimsy, very aggressive there on the inside, loses a bit of time, but also Jadon with a slight mistake. So we have a good round in our hands here. Yosh with a great landing here, jumping very smooth into that one and having more speed than Flimsy and Kakne and going into the lead with a little bit more speed, but it's far from being over here in this round. It's 4-4.
Oh.
Whoever falls, crumbles first will go significantly into the lead, and it's Flimsy with a mistake. Also Kakne, not with a good line. Is Jadon able to capitalize on Kakne's approach? No, Jadon also doesn't get it good, but it's Shift at least with a victory here. And it's also a good time here. 107.2 here from Josh winning the round, and this puts Shift back into the lead. It's 6-5. Shift would love to win the first map pick from ONYX.
Obviously. I mean, so far, I think in terms of pure pace on this map, both teams are very equally matched. But Shift, they're just playing, so far, it seems a little more consistent. ONYX has not quite been able to properly capitalize on those leading positions, or rather, not quite able to just keep that pace for long enough to actually make it count. But it is still very, very much a tight scoreline, 6-5. Yeah, I mean, as you talked about, Josh, he's kind of been the front runner in this game so far, and you know, that's quite impressive. I do want to bring up a very, very obscure kind of reference, if you don't mind. My first impression of Josh, not my first time hearing of him, but my first like real impression was when it was a few years ago in a split event, full speed event, where he I think he only got like second one of the rounds, and the rest of them he was first every single time. So that was kind of my impression. We're heading into the identity here, so don't mind my yapping. It's going to be a close race for first. Kakne still trying to overtake Josh here. We're heading into the last jump. It seems like Kakne is going to be in the lead, finishing first place. Josh second, Jadon third, but it's Flimsy in fourth place. It's another draw. It's a draw.
Yeah, it's a draw here, even though it could have been, again, much more for either of the teams, but heavily advantageous for Shift because now they're up to 7 points and an ace can really get them across the board. But I think we got our close map here, and I think I have the feeling now, just seeing map number 1 and 2, that this could also end up in a 3-0 here in favor for Shift. But I hope that ONYX is fighting back, but it is Kakne having to respawn, getting the airtime that I was talking about just 2 rounds ago, but it's still Flimsy in the lead. And of course, still a point would be good, but Shift ever so slightly coming closer to that 10-point threshold here. And this is a great line from the players, from all of them in the top 3. Flimsy going very far on the inside. Look at the speed deficit here from Flimsy towards Yosh, who just got such a nice outside line here. And also, what a landing from Jadon, going up into the second place battle, but touching on the outside. So it's between Flimsy and Yosh here for that first position. Victory or draw. What will be the case? Jadon will stay ahead of Kakne, but who's pushing the ending more? It is Flimsy, not with a good landing there, but coming back quite nicely. Yosh jumping a bit too far. Flimsy with more speed. It will be so close into the ending. Yosh with a good landing as well as Flimsy, but it will be Flimsy denying the attack. But what a great finish from both players there. Jadon still holding on to 3rd place and Kakne getting 4th. So now also ONYX with 1 ace will win their first map pick.
Yeah, that was a close race. That really did come down all the way to the line. That identity, you know, I would like to call it the deciding factor, but it really was the pace on the map overall, as both players had a fantastic identity there, bar some absolutely minor speed losses, but you know, sometimes you can't avoid it. But both players very, very equally matched on that, and now it's finally a great position for ONYX. But of course, Shift 1 point up still. So ONYX really looking to maybe trade in that well-deserved draw for an ace and try and finish it out. But it's probably not gonna be all that easy, as Flimsy heads in with a big crash. Kakne there, that looked very, very scuffed, and it's gonna cost them 1st place position. Jadon with the overtake. Flimsy is still in 2nd place position with Kakne in 3rd. Josh is not quite out of the race. We don't see him, but he is in 4th place, and he is still there to do something if a mistake were to happen like that one, and that is going to be very, very bad. Flimsy has to get 1st now. It's not gonna be happening. Shift closes it out with a victory. It's a tie. What
just happened there in the ending? I mean, I have so many questions. Flimsy finished on the right side. I think it's over. It's victory, because Jadon was ahead in the checkpoint beforehand, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was spectating Flimsy at the end, and I was like, yeah, he's certainly gonna get overtaken. But then it was a draw. I was like, did someone fail? It was so confusing.
I was so
10-8.
confused. Yeah, that was a close scoreline. If that would have been a draw, I'm very, very positive ONYX could have taken it.
Yeah, definitely. But it was so close there in the ending, and well, it wasn't meant to be for ONYX. But now we go into USA, and Topla, I've already seen ONYX playing on this map yesterday. They looked very good on it, so I'm very much looking forward to that one and see what they can do on this particular map, as now Shift has, of course, match point in their hands. So if they win this map, they will win this match as well.
I mean, yeah, ONYX definitely needs to win their 2nd map pick here. Now, the let's call it advantage of USA is it is a much less volatile map. The identity, although difficult, is not quite as punishing as some others in this map pack, at least in my personal opinion. And so I think this is gonna come down much more to those to the consistency here. Although Shift, they've already been massively consistent.
Yeah, they have been. But also ONYX looked very good on this map. Of course, there's Neo slides at the end that you need to perform. This map was also used in a competitive playfield already. It was Vanta Neo in the Trackmania Grand League 2021 season. It was the very first map of the season where Muda played his very first Grand League step. I think he got top 15 in there, so it wasn't really his best performance, but he has come a long way. The Thunder from Down Under, one of the best players who has ever touched this game. And well, now this map made its return, and let's see who's going to take this one home, because this quarter pipe jump is already very tricky, because it's hard to control it since you still have a little bit of icy tires left there, and it's just very hard to control this part at all. And Yosh played nicely on this map in DreamHack Birmingham, and look how far ahead he is already. There's a different line that you can choose. You can either reduce airtime there and land smoothly in, or just go for the overspeed. And yeah, like both lines are similar. I would say that the flowy line is a bit faster, maybe 500ths of a second, but it's like all up to your personal preference. But let's take a look. We see a mistake from Flimsy here before the identity. Yosh finding himself in the lead. Kakne trying to push for first position. That is a good line, but Yosh still holding on to that lead. Now the ending, very important. Kakne clipping. Will Jadon overtake? Yes, he will. And it's the ace, and also a great time from Yosh here, 0.7. That is very fast.
Wow, what a way to open up this map for Shift. I mean, this map pick especially so important for ONYX. They really, really need to win. They can't drop it now. And especially since, of course, it is match point for Shift. And that way for Shift to open it up is really, really going to be a difficult one for ONYX, as they have to play this from the back now. But there's still everything open in this game so far. This round is going to be looking a lot closer for now, as it's Josh in 4th place position and Jadon just clipped. So this is going to be prime time for ONYX to get some big points here in a moment. They are both in the lead, 1-2 position. Josh is sort of trying to get his car in there, try and deny the ace, but so far it's ONYX keeping up the 1-2. Josh is roundabout 0.2 behind. It seems like he's falling behind even more, but we've got the identity coming up. Kakne going too wide, and that's going to be just what Josh was looking for. 2nd place position. He's going to be happy enough with that for the moment, I think. And if he can just put this into the finish, which he will be able to, then he's going to be happy. 2 points for ONYX, 1 for Shift. Victory, ONYX.
But still, I think the pace on this map, it's very much evenly distributed, because Flimsy also with a 0.7 here, which is a very fast winning time on this map. We of course have seen 0.5s, 0.4s. The world record is a 0.2 from Nyko, but still, like, it's a very strong time from Flimsy there. And I think everybody's just in close proximity to each other. Flimsy even having a 0.3 as his PB, so you love to see that. And let's go into the next round, as Flimsy getting a great start. Jadon with a mistake, and it really feels like Shift is falling apart in those last 2 rounds. It is just Josh fighting back here in this particular round. 6% crashes, 53% win rate so far from Josh here. So this is looking absolutely fantastic. But here he's a bit further behind. Flimsy's on a massive time, but hitting there on the outside. And it is now between Kakne and Josh here for that first position. But Josh also with a mistake, slightly lifting off the wall. Kakne almost clipping. They're having to readjust though. But it's so important to get those first position across the board, because then it will be a 5-4 scoreline. And Kakne stays ahead, almost clipping there. Flimsy also on 3rd, and that was a very much needed victory for ONYX, and they're definitely not out of this one just yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think ONYX is looking super sorry. ONYX is looking super consistent and pretty fast in that final identity, and I think if they can keep up that performance that they're showing us right now, they can most certainly take this very important map point home for themselves. Shift, those last 2 rounds have not been their game. Big mistakes. I don't know if you saw Jadon just after this half pipe jump went too far to the left and flipped his car, which is in my playbook a little bit suboptimal, and we saw it on stream, so don't worry about it. This round is going to see Josh back in the lead, though. That's
never mind.
Just as I said it, I have been cursed. No, he has been cursed. It is going to be ONYX in the lead. Flimsy and Kakne would very, very much like an ace right now, putting them at track point immediately, and leaving Shift in the dust. It's going to come down to the identity again, but it is a clip there from Flimsy, as it's going to be Jadon overtaking, but the identity is still going to make it close. Maybe Flimsy is going to be able to overtake through these last 2 turns. It's going to be close. It's an ace. Fantastic stuff. 0.002. What a close one. Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen it come down to that identity quite a bit, and those small mistakes entering the identity have been big difference makers.
But finally, ONYX can capitalize massively on a mistake from Shift there. They almost always throw it away there just before or at the identity, but now they get it across. They're now finding themselves in the lead. They're here on their 2nd pick on USA, as we now go into the next round here. It is a good start from Jadon. Yosh is struggling to find the pace. He's 0.4 behind. Has only, or needs to pray that Flimsy and Cockney will not overtake Jadon, who gets a very good line there. It's so risky because you need to do that part after that full speed, and it's such a fine line to hit. But Jadon makes it across, doesn't touch there, and it is Cockney now with a mistake. And also Yosh coming closer with a very good dirt flick here. And Flimsy is not safe from him so far because it's only 0.2 between them, as you can see. But Jadon clipping here. This is good news for ONYX. They can go up to 8 points here and only giving Shift. Oh my god, I thought that Flimsy was failing there. Whew, this was very close. 6-8, ONYX in need of a victory, and then they are through. But Shift, I mean, they have the potential of what it takes to even go into the lead after this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you just saw that on the camera because you have that Ninja feed open as well. But I like physically had a reaction pulling away because it was so close for him. But I'm very happy he's gonna be getting a first place position. Sorry, securing a draw for ONYX. Shift is going to be losing out on 1 point, and that means they're 1 point short of track point, which is fantastic news for ONYX. ONYX now only needs a victory, so as long as they can get first or second place, preferably first and third, maybe even first and second, they're going to be happy. And this round is going to be looking like prime time to try and perform on doing that. Cackney is in the lead with Jadon closely following. Josh has been lagging behind a little bit in those past few rounds, and that's quite been a difference maker. Josh in 4th place position. It's Jadon who needs to try and lock. Oh no, Cackney with a nose slide, and that's not optimal. Jadon is in the lead. Flimsy in 2nd place position. If he can finish second, nice. 1 point is great news for ONYX, but 2 points for Shift. It's going to be close. Shift could very much go into overtime with a win.
Yeah, it could be overtime here, but even like ONYX, also mindset-wise, they need just the first position. But beating Yosh and Jadon here, I think it's quite hard. Yosh with a 42% win rate, Jadon with a 15% win rate. So Cockney and also Flimsy both with 21% win rate as well. So they can make it happen. But it's a very evenly distributed match, even though it doesn't look like that from the scoreboard, because it's Shift with match point and ONYX still having to win their first map here. But this all comes down to this particular round. Cockney is a bit further behind. Jadon with a great line here. Second and third would of course also be enough for them to take it home. Good line from Jadon, maybe a bit too wide there, so losing some time. But this all comes down to the dirt flick and the identity here, as Josh gets a very good approach here. I think it is Cockney struggling a bit, but also Jadon with a mistake. So Jadon is out down to 4th position, and that means that even if Josh gets 1st position, it will be ONYX taking this map home here. But for that, they still need to clear the identity. And it's Flimsy with a mistake. Flimsy's out here, and Jadon is still further behind. So I think it's still, even though they've made that mistake, it's still ONYX winning their first map. It's the victory, but what a close one, as well as the second map. It's 10-9. I think it was 8 or 10-8 beforehand. But ONYX on the scoreboard, it's 2-1. Game
Absolute nail biter there at the end. I think Shift, they could have done it. We've seen them already in past games last week where they had a comeback with 3 aces in a row to win their match. So it definitely wasn't out of the cards for them to make it back into that match. But of course, ONYX is going to be very happy. But now the battle really starts. We're going back to Shift's pick. It's going to be China. This has got a tricky line at the start where you can go for a buck slide, I believe. And I'm pretty sure that Shift does it. I'm pretty sure that ONYX does it as well. It's going to be interesting to see who can perform it better. Getting it just right is apparently like 0.3 or 0.4 faster.
Yeah, it is. It's 0.3 to 0.4, and then literally just the rounds deciding move here on this map. Unless you maybe the ice side as well, which is very important. On the bicycle identity, you can of course also gain or lose some time, but it's mainly like 0.2 to 0.3 of a second. I think another main problem here on this map was like just how much speed you transfer into the part from beforehand. So like this part here, where you can maybe gain 0.1. But in the ending, even if you go for not that much of the booster, of course you don't want to like completely miss out on the booster. but you don't really gain too much time. But proving wrong, guys, we're gonna see what will be happening as the warm-up has ended. It's Shift versus ONYX going into the second pick here from Team Shift. Let's see if we go to map 5. Let's see if my prediction here was correct, and let's see who makes the bug set at the start. And only Kakni going for it.
I mean, you know, it's a little bit of a risky move, but you can see that it paid off. Cackney is currently in the lead. That bug slide putting him in first place position, making Josh play catch up here in just a moment. But these ice sections can be quite tricky to clear. We've seen slide out so far already, but Cackney is, is of course not going to be doing that. Over the booster we go. Flimsy in fourth place position, not quite there to support his teammate. Never mind, I just say that as he overtakes Jadon, but Jadon still has more speed, is going to be overtaking back up. Josh with a very bad line is going to be hitting the wall. Flimsy finding himself in third place position. Jadon still in second place, of course, ahead of Flimsy, but Cackney with a massive lead and building. So right now he's going to be looking prime time to open up this match with a first place position for his team. And if Flimsy can keep the performance up as he is right now, and with Josh as far away as he is, it's looking like a victory for ONYX to open this up. But of course they would be quite happy with an ace here, and it's going to not go. Oh, what?
Oh,
what
no.
happened? Flimsy with the respawn. It's only going to be a draw. Ain't no way.
Oh no, that is so unfortunate. And again, ONYX not using the opportunity that they just get like on a silver platter gifted to them, like just in front of them, but they don't take it. They're like, no, we want to make it more interesting. They're gonna play hard mode in here.
Drop the ball for no reason.
Yeah. Oh, but now Jadon with a bug set here as well, and that was a beauty. Look at that, the nosedive there, using the dirt block to its advantage there. It's very easy to lose the gear there. You really need this kind of landing to get the most optimal speed out of it, and Jadon and yeah, Kakni did it very nice. But look who's in there who didn't go for the bug set. It's Yosh, and I think Josh and Jadon, they have enough here. They want to close out this match. Also, Josh with a great line, going a bit wider there to accumulate a bit more speed, but it's now 1-2 for Shift. Good line there as well. I think Kakni made a mistake there by the looks of it, or it was Flimsy went into the wall. Yes, it was. And also Kakni jumping here a little bit. That loses him a lot of time. And Jadon and Josh, they can save it here. They just need to survive the ending. They're half a second ahead of Kakni, as you can see here. And well, I mean, there's nothing really to fail, right? Surely they're gonna make it. Surely, yeah. But they have been playing this map extensively. They're not throwing this kind of round away. So it's an ace for Shift, and that is very much punishing for ONYX, because it's 4-1 now. 2 more aces and Shift, they have made it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so far it's been a close match in the rounds, but, you know, those rounds where ONYX has been having a lead, they've sort of just kind of dropped it due to some big mistake, whether that's at the end or in the middle part of the of the tracks. And you know, that's been costing them big points, and that's another deciding factor in why Shift is currently leading this match. But this round is not going to be looking all that well. Jadon with a massive mistake at the start, lagging over 2 seconds behind. Josh there going very wide through the ice turn might allow Cackney to kind of push his wheels up into that first place position here potentially. Flimsy is going to just hold down that third place. That's almost guaranteed as long as he doesn't make a big mistake. So it really is going to come down to whether this is a draw or a victory. Cackney overtakes for just a moment, but not to the checkpoint, and that means Josh still in the lead. Nice tight line from him. We're heading into the identity, and it's going to most likely not be an overtake for Cackney, as this identity, in my opinion, doesn't really allow for all that much other than mistakes. And so, yeah, it's going to be cruising for Josh into first place. Third for Flimsy. It's a draw. ONYX gets another point, but Shift ever so much closer to that 10-pointer.
Yeah, but still a good round here, except the mistake from Jadon at the start. But it feels like everybody just fell apart at the start here, because this looked like a fast round, and now we see a nose slide there from Kakne. Jadon with a buckset approach almost gets away with it. He was having like 1 degree too much there by the looks of it, else the buckset would have worked. But of course, he already got penalized beforehand, so now it's up to Yosh to deny the attack from Flimsy, who's the other person who has not been making a mistake in this round so far. Yosh with an incredibly inside ice slide, it is Flimsy who will have a bit more speed here, but is he able to control it here as well? The answer is a no. He slides out, he clips there as well, and that is not a good line from Flimsy. So the positions are set in stone here. It will be 6-3 after that round, unless like something bizarre happens that we cannot imagine to be happening. Maybe someone's internet dying, or you just go into the snow, or you go on another journey, maybe your pad disconnects, I don't know, but this should be 6-3 unless either of the players just mess up big time. But no, that's the case. Josh with a good line. Flimsy gets it nicely here as well. We see Cagney driving conservatively into the ending as well. And here you go. Shift with that, 4 points away of winning this match.
Yeah, I think a comfortable draw for both teams. Big mistakes means everyone was separated so much that there wasn't really much fighting going on there. But of course, Shift 6 points up, 1 point from track point is going to be quite amazing for them so far. Let's see if this time everyone can hit the start as they want. Only one person going for the box slide line, and it's Cagney. And well, you can see him not in the front, so that means it didn't really go all that well, but you know, you can't shake it till you try it. Flimsy is still, however, in the lead, kind of mirroring the previous rounds we had, but I just saw it at the back there. It seems like Cagney in third place position there with 2 big mistakes. Flimsy is going to be in the lead for now, though, and he'd be very much happy with Cagney getting third place position. A win would take them at least 1 point closer to Shift in this match. So far, Jadon is in second place, the only one who can sort of try to deny that fact, as Josh with another big mistake is going to be dropping even further behind, so that he's not going to be a factor. So this rest of the round, Flimsy in a big lead. He just needs to hit this identity, this last little trick, and not fail the end, and that's just going to be happening. It seems like this is going to be a very much needed win for ONYX here, as they are going to be grabbing themselves 2 points, Shift 1 point, but it is match point for Shift, and they could just be closing it out next round.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that because Shift now up to 7 points, ONYX coming significantly closer, but Tobler, I think, like, even if this match ends up in a 3-0, it was not telling the whole story from just the scoreboards, because 7-5 here as well. Oh, and my internet is, lagging. Hello, I think I'm back.
You're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here. Okay, great.
Yes.
Dublin internet coming into play. Very nice, but it's only a small hiccup here, so that is good. But of course, I think the victory is good for ONYX to come back, but on paper, I would still think it's better for Shift because they're up to match point, and that of course messes with ONYX mindset as well, because they know both of them, they have to survive it. And with a bug slide on a map like this, you need to survive that. And now here we have Flimsy with the leads, but then there's Jadon and Josh who are behind and ahead of Cagney. So the round again looks to be decided already from the start, as you can see here, because 0.4 to throw away will be very hard unless you slide out in this particular turn here, which doesn't happen to Flimsy because you still have icy tires attached here. But I'm also looking into the time, maybe a 0.4 or a 0.5 from Flimsy. Let's see, a 0.5, that is very fast. Very good time from Flimsy, and also a draw for them. It's not the end of the world, but they need to get a victory in the next round at least, else it will be very hard to come back, because then they need an ace.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's really been Shift's game overall so far, and I think what ONYX in the overall scoreline has been missing is that they didn't win their first map pick, and that's kind of the thing holding them back. They were getting very, very close on that on their second map pick. Luckily, they won it, of course. Otherwise, Shift would have just closed it out, but Shift's second map pick is looking much more favorable for ONYX, at least compared to that first one. However, Shift is looking incredibly solid, and this round especially, it might be great for them, as they had been both in the lead. But you know, Flimsy is now in first place position, and might just be denying it even more as Cagney overtakes into third, and we're heading into the identity. I'm not expecting much overtaking here unless there is big mistakes from either team. It is going to be Flimsy cruising into first place. Cagney there almost slides into the wall, catches it, adjusts his line. It's all gonna be fine. It's a win for ONYX, and you just predicted it. that it's probably what they need right now at the very least in order not to fall too far behind. 8 points for ONYX. A win would still not be enough. That would only put them into overdrive.
Overdrive.
Overtime. Shift is going to be very much happy with a draw here.
Yeah, and Cagney already with a mistake, and let's see how the Buck side worked out for him. It was terrible. But Josh and Jadon in the previous round, they were first and second. They were 0.3 ahead of Flimsy, or like whoever was in second place. I think it was Flimsy, who looks very strong on this map. But now they need to get at least first and third position, and they have 1 second to spare, and also Flimsy falling apart there. But yeah, I think you were naming it here, like map 1 definitely not working out very nicely there. What is happening to Jadon? I mean, they only need a first position, but that was definitely one of the rounds that we have seen so far. But it is Shift winning it here. But I think if we just see this match again, we could definitely see like even like ONYX winning it, even though Shift looking maybe a bit faster on Brazil, but like especially here on this map, it was quite close. Also on map 2 and 3, we have seen some close rounds, but it is Shift holding on to the victory streak. They have won 3 matches in a row, and they're also going to win against a team that was 2-0 beforehand. So ONYX being a worthy opponent, but it wasn't meant to be for them. And that's it. Shift now leading the standing alone.
Yeah, and I mean, with this match, Shift definitely very securely placing themselves as the favorites in Division 2 here. That was an absolutely great performance. The game, I think, was closer than the ending scoreline leads on to be, but ultimately Shift was looking not just fast but also very, very much consistent. I think your comment from the beginning of this round really sums it up. How did the Buck slide go for Cagney? Absolutely horrible.
Yeah, and the Buck side is really like the bread and butter of this map. It's very important, and we could have also seen, I think it was Pack who didn't go for the Buck side and then just caught it up with sheer pace. I think he even drove a 0.3 without the Buck side, and you just concede 0.4 intentionally. But I think if you just fail it like 50% of the time, even 20% of the time, Tobler, I think you shouldn't go for it, right? Because like in those crucial rounds, you just lose a lot of time.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, you can always throw it out as a Hail Mary and just kind of say, all right, let's go for the Buck side. If we get a great line, we've got a much greater chance at securing some very important points, But then at the same time, if you fail it, then it could lead to very, very bad results very, very soon. So it really does come down to how much of a risk are you willing to take? How comfortable do you actually feel with it? And I think it's a very difficult decision where you actually draw the line of how consistent you need to be with it. And
it's hard.
It's probably going to come down to the matches themselves and the score line.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also the opponents. Maybe, okay, your opponents are going for it, but it's just very complex. And there's plenty of more matches that we're going to go over, especially tomorrow, because tomorrow the matches will start at 15 CEST, and there is so many Division 1 matches happening tomorrow. It will be so much fun to see. I think, Tobler, you're also going to be involved with casting a lot tomorrow, especially with Randomizer Legion, and I will be doing 2 matches in the evening alongside Geek, which will be very good to see. But guys, the Overdrive League just started. It was my first weekend, or it is my first weekend casting it, but I'm having a blast. So Division 2 definitely delivering. Cannot wait to see how Division 1 is looking like.
I mean, if you want a little bit of a spoiler from last week already, the Division 1 matches, they're looking fast. So I'm very much excited for tomorrow. Everyone moved their matches. All the Division 1 teams moved their matches to tomorrow. So we've got an absolutely packed day there. You don't want to miss it. But I think that's going to be closing it out for today.
Yeah, it is. This was the last match of the day. We had only 3 matches on stream, all being Div 2 matches, but it's still good to see the league is unfolding itself, and soon we're gonna know what team will be winning contenders and who's maybe gonna play for demotion or maybe even for promotion, because as you said, the top 1 team from Division 2 is directly promoting, and right now it's looking really good that it might be Shift, but maybe that's too early to tell. But yeah, I think that was it from us. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. And we're going to see ourselves tomorrow. And I'll leave the last word to Mr. Tobler, who spontaneously jumped into the cast.
Yeah, thank you very much for spontaneously having me here. I didn't really expect to jump in. I really was looking forward to watching this match. But, you know, I can't complain about actually getting to cast it. So thank you very much for letting me join in real quick. I hope it wasn't all that obvious that I literally sat down at home 5 minutes ago. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you also, guys, for watching. You don't want to miss tomorrow. I hope to see you guys there, and I think that's gonna be enough words for today. So I'll see you guys around. Have a nice day.